Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your t-shirted zombie. Yes, it's October. That's right, it's the month of Halloween. So, for the month, I've decided to put on a slightly different look. I hope you don't mind. But for the sake of clarity, I do think I'll do something about the voice. But mostly because it annoys Gary. Speaking of Gary, here's that asshole now.
Yeah, did you see the look I gave one minute I heard it? I was like, oh, man.
Yes, I saw. And we have the lovely, wonderful Iron Gaster.
You forgot to turn your mic on, didn't you?
Maybe.
And joining us is Esh Singh.
Woohoo!
What's up, Ash?
Time. How's it going, guys?
Well, I survived the coof, so that's always a good thing.
Woo!
I'm so impressed with how you recovered so quickly.
I honestly, I think it's because I was vaxxed. I mean, that's all I can think of. Because otherwise it's, it's killed friends of mine and stuff, so I know how bad it can be.
Yeah, ditto. And you still having the side effects, though, with the smell and taste?
Yeah, have absolutely no sense of smell and taste. I mean, I sense sweetness and saltiness and spices. Because I know one of the very first things I tried when I lost my sense of smell and taste was biting into a nice hot pepper, and it's like, no, I got all the burn. I just didn't get any of the flavor, so it was kind of like, wow, magnify the suck.
Yeah, this is when you start experimenting with really powerful spices.
Not really, because you could still taste the spices. You just can't taste the flavor. Yeah.
That's weird.
And
Of course, he's got no taste. He hangs out with us.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I knew somebody was going to make that joke. And joining us as a guest this week is Lord Thoth.
Hell, gents.
Hey,
What's
Lord
up,
Thoth.
Lord?
You
Good to
doing
see
all
y'all.
right?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you about you? You recovering good?
I'm recovering pretty good. Yeah, I'm managing. I'm hanging in there.
Did you say a boot?
A boot.
That's the Canadian in me.
Yeah.
And hail to our wrenches, Snortopoopus. Yes, that's right. I'm so daring. I actually handed a wrench to a polar bear. And hello, Christian Fandom Geek. It's great to see you, man. Thank you for hanging out with me. All right. So today, yeah, that's true, Snort. I'd never smell you coming. I can still hear you, but yeah, I'd never smell you coming for sure. Although it's kind of handy, I guess, in some things.
So I should ask, has your stance on candy corn changed at all?
Well, at the moment, I could taste the sweetness of candy corn, but there would be no flavor.
I've never tried candy corn.
But since candy corn is mostly just sugar anyway.
I know that a friend of mine really turned to Indian and real Chinese food to work out the loss of smell and taste.
Oh, well.
It seemed to help him.
Well, that doesn't seem to do me any good, really, but I'll keep it in mind. I like really hot, spicy food anyway. Our dear friend Grim will not be joining us today. He is feeling pretty wiped out and wonky because they are adjusting his blood pressure medication again. But I can report that his Indiegogo for Whitechester did successfully reach all of its funding.
Ooh.
Outstanding.
In fact, he
That's
made
excellent.
he made 123% of his funding, so he did pretty
That's
well.
great.
I've been
Yeah.
spreading that around all my Kickstarter forums and RPG forums and stuff. So I hope that helped a little bit. I know a couple of people were commenting on it, so that's awesome. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to being a zombie.
There you go. There you go. I'm also happy because I'm going to be working on that too. So I may just have to make an appearance myself. T-shirt zombie.
And as soon as he feels better, I really need to have a conversation with him. But
Yeah, he did remind me to tell you to email him.
okay. I'm gonna do it.
Yes, Christian Fandom Geek. I do love a good Chinese food, and it is criminal because one of my favorite things is hot and sour soup, and I have a nice big thing of it in front of me, and I can't taste it. I taste the heat, the spice, I taste the salty, but nothing else. And Snowdub, are you coming in here? Come on in here, man. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Go
funny
ahead.
how much smell affects your taste, your sense of taste too, right? So
They're
that's what
interconnected.
COVID does. It attacks your olfactory senses. It attacks your sense of taste and everything. And it's awful. I have a friend of mine who had it, and he still hasn't recovered. And that was like 2 months ago. Not 100% recovered, I should say.
Yeah, it's sort of like when I learned in biology that when you smell a fart, you're actually eating a little bit of particles of poop.
That's true.
I'm glad you shared that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you can't unlearn that fucking shit.
I learned that back in science, yeah.
Yeah, I learned it in anatomy physiology when I was in nursing school. And
I was more interested in different anatomy and physiology than smelling farts or tasting farts. So that's
yeah.
So when you want to
things
insult
learn.
someone rather than saying "eat shit," just fart in their face.
Yeah, there you
Right in
go.
the face.
There you go. And Ash, I believe you have some comments here in the that might be more directed towards you here, because like Christian Fandom Geek says West Indian is very good, spiced big time. You would know more about that than I would.
Well, yes and no. I'm South Asian, so that is from the general area. But my food palette's more Punjab, Indian
Ash,
area. Yes.
Somebody had said this to me a long time ago, and I've forgotten which one eats with their hands.
It's pretty much all Indians, all like traditional Indians.
There you go.
Because I've grown up just eating with your hands. If you've got a chapati or some sort of flatbread, you always eat with your hands. Even now, if I go to like a restaurant or something and I'm given naan bread and it's like a curry or rice or something, I will eat with my hands with the naan bread. I'm not gonna. It's because it's part of the culture. So it's up to you. You're more than welcome to eat with a knife and fork and spoon. But if that's what you've grown up knowing, it's kind of like eating, going to a Chinese restaurant and eating with chopsticks. It's like it's part of the culture to eat with chopsticks. So if you've grown up knowing eating with chopsticks, you will do that.
It came up one night. We two of my best friends and I, we went to an Indian restaurant in Springfield. I don't think Keith was there. No, it's just Mac, Rob, and me. And we were eating with our hands, and the owners were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, eating traditional? That is not how we eat. No. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? I felt like we insulted him by doing that. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Sticking your fingers in that tasty food. What the fuck's wrong with you?
But one thing you look for, I do know this because I learned this from a fuck up I made as a kid in an Indian restaurant. If there are finger bowls, that's a restaurant that expects, traditional eating with the hands.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, do not drink the finger
bowl.
bowls.
Yeah, because I did that. I did it, and I'm spitting water all over the table when the guy says, "Oh no, that's a finger bowl. Don't drink that."
Yeah. Usually it's only with the hands if it's like I said earlier, if it's chapati or a flatbread or some sort of naan bread or something like that. You wouldn't. Some very traditional people would literally go in with their hands with some rice and in the curries as well. But for me personally, it's just with the chapatis or flatbread. I'll just use a normal spoon for rice and
one of my favorite dishes is curried eggs.
Ooh.
All right.
Interesting.
We had a traditional dinner one night, and a friend of my buddy Mac from India, he was working on a Bollywood film at the time, and so they served us this huge dinner with rotating table to get different things. It was really good. And I was eating everything. The chicken was really good, but God, man, those eggs, curried eggs. I never pictured those two things together. And,
Oh man, they do curry peanuts and everything now. So
yes.
And
I think
Wizard
you said
Jim,
peanuts.
peanuts, not penis. Curried peanut. Oh my God, no.
It burns.
Just spicy meatballs.
One really
Oh.
good thing to mix into like a chicken tikka masala or a buttered chicken curry is just chips. If you just
Yeah.
mix standard chips into the curry, obviously after it's baked, don't bake the chips in with the curry. Make them separately, but then mix them together. The texture and the flavor of the chips will soak up some of the juices from the curry.
Yeah,
when you
'cause
eat that with the
potatoes
chicken, it
are
tastes
flavor
so good.
neutral.
Yes, yeah.
Making me so hungry now.
Yeah, I am too. I'm like, damn it, I want this for dinner now.
And yes, Snortopoopas is correct. If you ask someone to curry your horse, you need to be specific. Yes. Squeaker heard that.
I guess somebody was trying to curry favor.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And speaking of curry favor, I'm still trying to curry favor with Mr. Faderhead. Apparently, he's very, very busy right now. I might not be able to get an interview with him until February. Oh.
At least the conversation's still going. That's good.
Private message for you there, buddy.
Private message for me?
Yeah,
Okay.
from me to you.
I
I just need to check real quick.
I'm not sure if that's right. I will have to double check. I'm kind of doing 50 million things at once. I don't have a producer to do all this stuff. I'm doing all this manually.
Just ask Six, or well, you can't ask Kyle because he's off with the wife tonight.
Yeah, he's off with the wife tonight. Well, I don't know. Six never shows up over here anymore, so.
No, she doesn't like you.
No, okay.
I'm kidding. Like, she's just lying.
Well,
Fine.
it's because Six is being dragged in like 5 different directions with 5 different channels. Like she's
either working with Tom on something,
Yeah.
or working with me.
I'd actually rather try to get Arwen Avalon to work with my
Arwen
channel.
is such a sweetheart. Yes,
She's so awesome. She's so awesome. I need to get her on the show more often.
Six is now also part of the TGI panel now.
And speaking of which, how did the interview with Mike Barron go, man?
Yeah, it was okay.
Oh, okay.
That's so underwhelming. I can't even talk.
Yeah,
That was great. In the end, Mike and I've known each other for a few years, and
who don't you know?
He's never really looked at my artwork in all the years that we've known. He knows my comic work, but he's never looked at it. Then finally, he's like, "Why don't you shoot me your artwork?" I'm like, "Just go here." He went there, and like live on camera, he's like, "That's really good." And then a few seconds later, "Oh, that's really freaking good." And then he ends with, "Oh my God, you're fucking good." And I'm like, "I know, I'm a professional." So now we're officially doing a comic together.
Hey.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's I can't give the name.
Okay.
But it's I don't have permission from him to do it, but it's going to be cool. It's a take on kind of a Captain America that's more realistic and more patriotic.
Oh, so he's gonna run into Captain America Indians and Captain America transgenders and Captain. What? I thought that was supposed to be the more realistic Captain America.
He's going to say Hail Hydra.
It's a modern.
Yeah. Going to say Hail Hydra.
A combat soldier, and I will tell you one thing that I thought was cool. He catches somebody when he's in Afghanistan beating and torturing a dog and kills him.
Good.
Yes.
And the military,
people who hurt dogs need to be killed.
Modern military is very overly PC, and something like that you will get drummed out of the military for doing it, even if it was right.
Yeah.
And they'll try to come after you too. They'll try to come after you later, because that's happened several times with soldiers that did the right thing and then later had lawsuits leveled at them.
We go off into such strange tangents.
Even if it was an attack dog belonging to the enemy.
Well, not in this story, but
no, that's
I'm just saying.
All dogs go to heaven. Ash, come on.
Yeah,
I've been in a situation. I've been in a situation where we've gone to a call and a drug producer was training dogs to attack people, and we actually had to go and put a dog down. And it's one of the worst things you can ever imagine. Putting a dog
CQB,
down.
When you're doing CQB or QRF, if there's a dog in the house, when you go in, 9 times out of 10 we put the dog down. because
And then of course there's
You never know
PRF
what
and
they're gonna
TUV, WXYZ.
but it sucks when you do it. You fucking hate it.
It's
like
also
killing a chick.
it's also tough too. Working on the beat with the dog men too, the dog handlers, and those dogs become part of the team. They become one of the
Yes, they
members,
do.
and when they get hurt or when they get killed on the line of duty, let me tell you, there's a lot more tears for when fellow members get killed on the line of duty. It's amazing how much they become a part of that team. So yeah, absolutely, dogs have their own personalities and their own loves and hates, so they become like a person.
Very
So
much so.
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely agree.
Yep.
And Wizard Jim brings up something good here. He says he loves that idea, and his favorite comic lines are from the Wildstorm universe, which is based around Black Ops and conspiracy theory stuff. Yeah, I remember Warren Ellis did some of that stuff.
Yes,
and,
he did.
Man, it was good.
Yeah, that's some good stuff there. That's the kind of comics that I got into. And when I talked to Mike, I told Mike, look, man, I told Marvel when Marvel was they were considering hiring me. I said, you want to hire me for action comics, not for superhero stuff. I don't give two shits to draw superheroes. I can draw muscular people. I just don't want to draw them basically naked with an emblem on them. That's weird to me. I like military stuff, law enforcement, real world espionage. Give me that shit and I'll fucking draw it all day. But I fucking hate drawing superhero stuff. I really do. Loved it when I was a kid. But as an adult, I just fucking hate it.
Would you consider drawing like a cop series or like a military series, but in manga form?
Ooh.
Because
I fucking love
it's that
manga.
military stuff, but
Yeah.
it's in a different medium.
what an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm. And
So
speaking
it'd
of
be like
manga,
It'd be like a North American law enforcement / military kind of perspective, but in the manga style, eh? That's actually a cool idea.
Well, one of the artists who had a huge impact on me was I'm trying to remember his name. Oh my God, Katsushiro, the guy from Akira.
mm-hmm.
I fucking love the designs. It's very ultra realistic. I even like the way he drew people. That even though they still had the manga eyes and mouths, their bodies and everything were very realistic.
Are you talking the creator of Akira, like
Yeah, what is his
Katsuhiro
name?
Otomo?
That's
Katsuhiro
it.
Otomo.
Yeah, Katsuhiro Otomo. That's the guy.
Yeah, I love Akira.
That guy did all the fucking design for his shit. And that guy was incredible. And that had such an impact on me back in the 80s. Because the 80s is really where I started forming my style. And a friend of mine noticed that there's almost a manga style to the way I draw the human form when I'm drawing action scenes. And I said, even though I don't do it manga style, really, there is a definite influence. So yeah, I'd love to do manga, Ash.
Nice.
Yep. And speaking of, like I was saying, speaking of that, I did get to watch the latest series of Baki up on Netflix. Oh man,
Yeah,
pissed me
I
off.
finished it. Oh my god.
I know, because they keep drawing out the ogre confrontation so much, and I'm just like, God damn it, hurry up and fucking get! I want to see who wins that fight. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait a little bit longer. But I also
do
got
have
something.
One question for you about that series. How do you think How do you think about the way they portrayed Muhammad Ali and his name and Muhammad Ali Jr. in the show?
I thought it was kind of fun. The Baki series has been doing a lot of that with homages and stuff like that lately. I have the original Japanese sets with all the other stuff that's not on the Netflix shows. So I've actually watched that series kind of go from its infancy all the way to where it is now. And I've read some of the background on the manga and stuff, so I kind of know where they're going with it. Miyamoto Musashi is reincarnated basically as a clone, and he comes back at some point during the series also. So that's going to be pretty awesome. But I'll tell you what, you already know Fist of the North Star is my absolute top, total favorite, never going to be beaten anime manga. But as far as fighting manga goes, I rank it Fist of the North Star, Kengan, Ashura, and then Baki. And the only reason is because just Baki just gets. I mean, they all get a little bit silly here and there.
Yeah.
But Baki just gets way fucking silly at times. Just to the point where it's unbelievable because the characters are just so inhuman. It's just kind of like, okay. I mean, and I guess JoJo would have to be in there somewhere. So I guess I'd say JoJo is about fourth for me. But anyway, let's shout out some folks here. We got Mephisto Xarces. I hope I'm saying that right, man. Hey, how are you, sir? Greetings from the UK. It's good to see you.
Kylock's
Wizard,
here too.
Wizard Jim. Yes.
Yeah.
Fizz Chozo. I'm gonna point you out here in a minute, Fizz. Don't worry, I have not forgotten you. And Kylock. All right, it's good to see you guys. And oh yeah, I remember Ninja Scroll. In fact, I reacquired it on Blu-ray. Good stuff.
Ooh.
Good stuff. And where does Ghost in the Shell feature in that list? Well, Ghost in the Shell is not really a fighting anime. Just as far as it's in my top 10 favorite anime for sure, but just for straight up fighting anime, it's not in there at all.
Well, I finally bit the bullet and I picked up season 1 of My Hero Academia.
Oh,
so,
nice.
It's sitting down there, ready to go, and it's because I keep hearing so much about it, and being I as a child of the 70s/80s, Star Blazers, Robotech, all that stuff was kind of what I was exposed to as a young kid. I'm kind of wanting to get into the more recent anime / Japanese animation kind of stuff, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it should be. It's getting a lot of good reviews. I've never seen it myself, but I did just get this from Singapore.
Ooh.
This is Kanetsugu to Keiji Gifudodo. Basically, what it translates to is legend of kind of like legendary samurai Kanetsugu and Keiji, or it's Keiji no Hana, which it's basically it's a kind of a retelling of a legendary samurai character, or a couple of legendary samurai characters in historical settings, and it's done by the same artist who did Fist of the North Star. So, of course, I had to pick it up. Oh, and Wizard Jim says MHA is good shit, great character designs. There we go. Fizz Chozo, all right.
Yeah, for a while they were even playing Gundam on that block.
Was
Right
that
at
right?
that time of night on Sci-Fi Channel, yeah. They were playing
What's Gundam? I've
Gundam
never heard
Seed.
of it.
Oh my. A piece of
Iron-
his soul just died.
I got to hold
I'm pressing
Ironcaster
your
back
buttons
now.
there, Ironcaster.
It's okay,
Actually,
Iron.
everything I've learned from Gundam was from you, man.
Oh, really?
You put on some good streams.
Thank you. I'm hoping to do a couple more good streams this month. I've got
Good
some
stuff.
stuff planned and might be able to talk about that later.
Cool.
Well, I just posted up a link in the chat. Goofanoid, or Goofanoid is the name of the comic book, but Fizz Chozo, one of our regulars here now, is actually doing this. It's an Indiegogo comic book. The cover looks really good, and it looks like it's an interesting series. So you guys should check it out and see about getting this guy funded. It's his second time up to try to get it, and the guy can use some help. But there's still 26 days left to get it there. So y'all should definitely check it out and see if you're interested in purchasing it, because I don't know. I mean, it looks different. It looks fun.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's really out there, man.
Mm-hmm. I kind
Interesting.
of like
Cool.
I like out there though. I mean, because
I like not the norm. I like
yeah.
anything that's cool and different. So absolutely, everybody should take a look at this because it's it's weird. That's cool. He's kind of like a jester character, or
Mhm.
the jester of rubber chicken of justice. That is the best line I've heard all week.
Rubber chicken of justice. Yeah. And Fizz, if you want to come on the show at some point and talk about the comic book, let me know, man. Because I'm up on Twitter. I know you've got a Twitter handle up there. just shoot me a DM. We'll set up a time. We'll talk about your comic. Anything I can do to help you out, because there is still good stuff out there. There's still lots of good indie creators out there, and comic books don't just come in two flavors, Marvel or DC. So
No.
And as I was mentioning about Faderhead earlier, Faderhead's Kickstarter is still going. There is still time to get on there to buy Year of the Serpent if you want. So, posting up a link to that. It's got 40 hours to go, so you're running out of time quickly. I'm going to go ahead and do his video real quick. Well, it's not real quick. It's about like 3 or 4 minutes long, so smoke them if you got them, panel.
Oh, hi. I'm Faderhead, and I'm starting my Kickstarter campaign in support of my upcoming album, Years of the Serpent. My previous album, Asteria, was an attempt to reflect on some of the changes in my life. And it was an attempt at, how can I say this, at expressing what it feels like to leave who you are behind, to look up at something better, and then try to move towards it. The upcoming album, Years of the Serpent, is the opposite. It's a look back at a past full of mistakes and full of problems, and a look at a soul full of snakes. It's definitely my hardest and darkest album so far, and it will feature some strong throwback sounds to the dark electro days of maybe 2008 to 2012. Despite that throwback, I'm also fully aware that you're only as good as your last at bat. So I made sure to do my utmost to make this new record sound bigger, better, and more modern than Asteria or any of my other albums. Right at this moment, the final artwork is not finished. The Medusa painting by Rubens that you're seeing here, and that's also on the Kickstarter page, that's just a placeholder. My friend and former bandmate, tattoo genius and designer Daniel Meyer, he's currently working on the album art. I will of course post the art here once I have it, but for now you can take a look at some of his work to get an idea of his style. Your early support will grant you access to exclusive signed items and experiences that are really not available anywhere else. For example, the bonus EP, which will feature 4 or probably 5 dark bunker techno tracks that go into the direction of some of my beat of the week's idea, maybe like this one. Or like this one. All the proceeds from this campaign will be used to pay for the pressing of CDs, and I will put some of that money towards a budget for a music video that will go strongly into the direction of Tanz wo drei vier. I'm seeking 6,000 euros, which is approximately 7,000 US dollars to cover these expenses. That's around 4,000 euros after all the fees and taxes are deducted. And, more can always help, but if you know anything about the music industry, $4,000 is a pretty small sum to release an album. Now, if you know my social media profiles, you know that I rarely try to sell you anything, simply because I don't think that's what social media is for. But today I'm saying,
Give me your money.
Can't contribute? No problem. You can still help out by spreading the word about this campaign and about the new album on your whatever there's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, blog, or whatever your preferred method of social media is. Or you can be a friend and, tell one of your friends in person such a novel concept, or via email or DM. I really hope you will join me on this campaign to bring Years of the Serpent out into the world, and I truly appreciate any level of support you can give to my new album. Thank you.
All right, and yeah, as of right now, he's gone well over his goal. So this album is definitely going to be a happening. And I've already backed it myself, obviously because I'm a Faderhead fan. And I honestly credit a lot of the success of this channel to his music in the intro. I mean, you know, being honest. But I hope you guys will consider supporting it if you do like the music. So, and we have dead silence. Hey.
Yeah, he's almost to 30 grand, I think, the last time I looked.
Yeah, he's almost there. I mean, and you know, I like the fact that he is not going through like some kind of big label or something to do this. It's like he's pretty much he's crowdfunding all of his music. All his music is sold on Bandcamp. I think that's really cool. I mean, he's avoiding a lot of the studio politics crap and just doing music directly, and he's still getting hits. So.
Smart man.
Yeah. Very, very cool. And I don't know, you know, I'm starting to see kind of which way the wind blows as far as all of studios in general go, and with regards to our current trend in culture and pop culture, if you know what I mean. But I'm seeing, you know, music now, video games, comic books, obviously, TTRPGs, everything as far as our entertainment is kind of starting to sidestep all the studios, which of course, you know, the studios all across have started picking up a lot of the politics that we are not big fans of. And crowdfunding seems to be kind of like the way that everyone is going now, at least as far as the indies go. That's the only way you can get your brand out there, unless you want to play the new, you know, woke politics studio game.
It's certainly keeping control of your intellectual property yourself and not relying on somebody else to make you, 20% profit. This way it's, you know, you're always going to have overhead, whether it's music or pop culture or anything else, even if you're shooting your own videos or you're doing your own creator controlled stuff, that if you can do it in such a way where you can crowdfund it, make some money enough to be able to pay for it and keep that creative license that they want to keep. These guys who are putting out great music, that Faderhead stuff is just awesome. So everybody out there, you need to jump on this bandwagon now and support it, because it's pretty awesome. And he's supportive of the community too. And we also have that on other channels too, where there's, you know, very creative, artsy people who are creating new comic books, new art, new music, new intellectual property that is just is so much better than, like you said earlier, the big two. Most of my pull list now isn't the big two. I might get a handful of comics because they're comics that I've been getting for decades, but I'll tell you, the most enjoyment I get out of a comic book is not from DC and is not from Marvel. And I feel the same way about music too. It's not coming from the big companies out there and the big artists on the Billboard Top 100, right? That's not the music that I listen to anymore. It's these really, really creative artists out there that are doing this through Kickstarter and through other methods too, right? It's great. I love seeing that.
I do too. And this is something I'm sure Ironcaster will agree with me on. I am buying a lot more comic books from independent sources, either through Kickstarters, Indiegogos, or just from independent labels out there. And I find that, you know, the comic books are still expensive, but I find that even though I'm buying fewer comic books, I am getting better quality, you know, just in art and story and everything else. I mean, would you agree, Iron?
Oh yeah. One of the biggest benefits we're really seeing is with with the crowd, let me move closer. With the advent of crowdfunded comics, we've really seen this increase in just the amount of people that can get into doing it, even just as a side hobby or a side interest. It's infinitely easier now than it would have been, 20, 30 years ago. Where you don't have to go through something like Diamond. You don't have to get featured in Wizard magazine just to get noticed. I mean, you can just go put a campaign together in, I don't know, 20 minutes, put out a bit of art, and just show off a little bit of, even show off like 1 or 2 pages. You don't even have to have the full thing ready to go for a campaign.
Wizard magazine is dating you a little bit there, Ironcaster.
Oh, I remember Wizard magazine.
And Hero too was another one too. Was the knockoff? Yeah.
And
it's funny you should bring that up though, because it's funny because just going through my mind now, and I picked up Heavy Metal. Was it issue 300 just a few months ago, and I was reading through it and realizing how awful the magazine is because the stories were terrible. And I remember in the good old days in the 80s, Heavy Metal magazine and all of those great magazines of the 80s and even into the 90s, because you had Wizard and Hero that was telling us all the cool stuff in comics without having a bias. It was pretty neutral kind of reporting on the comic industry. And nowadays you have to go and get Bounding into Comics, or you have to read websites that are a little bit out there, as opposed to the shill media that's been doing comic books, like saying that the latest Wonder Woman run is so awesome, and it is awful. Like that's something that just it brings to mind the good old days of the 80s when we didn't have the internet versus now, where it's all about clicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're back in the day, media journalism and stuff like that. Actually, the integrity of those institutions meant something. So the independence meant something. But nowadays, it's pretty obvious that a lot of these guys are bought and paid for by the highest bidders. And
nowadays you basically have to go to YouTube to get a review from someone who who can be trusted. I mean, just some guy's review of Common America Volume 3, for example, did a really good job of selling that book.
Yeah.
And that is, every time that book comes out, it stands up as my favorite book of the year for comics.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very happy with Common America. Is just one to name.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and kind of pulling it in a different direction with comics, of course, if you're a manga fan, not too long ago, I released my Berserk final issue, Kentaro Miura copy of Young Animal Comics unboxing and reveal, and that was really nice. Hey, Christian, nice to see you. Yeah, activism, corporatism, and journalism don't mix. I agree. That was really cool. I'm still slowly working my way through the latest issue of Berserk because there's no hurry.
Right? Isn't that awesome? I love that comic. It's so bloody and wild and crazy. Yeah, it's a great story.
It's so visceral.
Yeah, that is a perfect word to describe it. I love the art. I think it's a cool story, and it's one of those. That is my pleasant surprise of 2021 right there, that comic.
Well, let me introduce you to another one. This is one of mine. Obviously, I've been shilling Fist of the North Star for a while now, and this is the first one that came out a few months ago. Well, the second one finally came out, and I got a hold of it, and these covers are really good quality paper.
Oh, cool!
Quality,
yeah.
Good quality print, great artwork.
Hearing that crease, that crinkle.
Yeah. Isn't it nice? And they're not horribly expensive. I mean, look at this, man. This is some great artwork. This was done back in the 80s.
So mostly BW artwork, eh? Black and white?
Oh, yeah, it was all black and white. But,
a little bit of color in there, I think. Was that Ken there that was in color? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of color tone to it.
Or not Ken.
Kenshiro, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, Kenshiro. Yeah, Ken. Yeah.
Yeah, and price tag is not too bad. $26.99 if you're in Canada, unfortunately, but $20 if you're in the US. Not so bad.
About how many pages is that? Do you know?
What,
I haven't actually
is that-
counted them.
48. How many is it? Let's take a look.
It's this thick. I mean, it's my finger. So there you go. It's one finger joint. Well, almost 2 finger joints thick. So you're getting pretty good bang for your buck.
Nice. Hardcover?
And yeah, it's hardback too. It's so it's not garbage. And Esh probably got to look at the price tag there too if he's paying attention.
Yep.
Oh, about 312 looks like.
312 is that's good.
For what did you say? It was $26.99 for Canadian, was that? Wow. That's pretty good for that. That's because I know a lot of the Hellboy stuff and that is like twice that expensive for around the same amount of pages.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, and it's only like $20 American, so I'm like, that's a steal.
I don't have much to show off. The only thing I had nearby was one I had just picked up.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. I think I've got that issue, but man, it's good, isn't it?
You had me on Elric.
It is so good.
Here, let me blow that up, man. Show Gary some of that artwork. Hey, pay attention, Gary.
I have the first set of first edition.
You gotta be a little careful with the pages I open here for nudity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does have a little bit of nudity.
I love those novels.
Yeah, that'll probably be okay. Probably.
Look at how good that is.
And I'm hoping they never do a TV show for that for another 5 years when we get past this era of woke SJWBS. SJWBS.
I absolutely agree. Elric is definitely not. It would be problematic for today's social folks.
It would have to be an HBO Max or a Netflix show because it's for violence and nudity and just testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
That's
love
amazing.
that.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful artwork and it's great color, and they're big too. Look at how big it is in Iron's hands.
In there.
Yeah,
and I'd rank that as probably top 10 fantasy novel series of all time, right up there. Lord of the Rings. I can go on and on, but that's just I love that story. I love that story.
Ooh.
Where'd you pick that up, Ironcaster?
I got this one on Amazon.
Yeah. The next issue should be coming out pretty soon, I think. I also need to pick up the Cimmerian. That's a French Conan comic, which I don't really like the artwork, but it is really nice looking overall. But yeah, there is great stuff out there that does not come from the big two. So
Oh yeah, Boom is doing really good with the Power Rangers license. So if you want something a little superhero-esque, that's been a good read.
Yeah, and I heard Berserker is doing real well too. The Keanu Reeves book, because it's Boom Comics also, isn't it?
That and also The Last Ronin.
I want to see that. Okay, Fizz, I will definitely drop you a DM, and we will try to set up a show where you can push your comic book, man, because I want to help you out. And Chris, I was about to get to this. What do I think of Razer's comments about how we show? Yeah. I don't want to take a dump on another YouTuber or anything like that, so don't take this too far out of context. I'm not a big fan of Razor Fists, to be quite honest. That doesn't mean I don't like the guy or anything. I'm just not a big fan. But I do follow him on Twitter. I do listen to what he has to say. I don't always agree with it, but it is what it is. And he is making a lot of a push for telling people that we need to abandon all of the modern comic book stuff and go back to the old stuff. And he's talking about pulps, including the older Conans and Call and Solomon Kane and all these other things. And I almost wholeheartedly agree with him because the old stuff is still really, really good. And it's an untapped gold mine of great stories, great ideas and stuff.
I mean, a lot of those characters are like a field that's been set fallow for long enough that nutrients is allowed to go back in. That for many of these characters are brand new to modern audiences. Mm-hmm. So, like, oh god, I can't believe that James mastered it. What was it? The new Shadow story that got written. Mm-hmm. James, I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, guy writes a bunch of stories, and he did a new story for the Shadow. Well, he's effectively introducing the character of the Shadow, who's to a brand new audience, and is writing in all new like powers for the character, and it's just bringing him so outside of his world that you're not even giving the character a chance to be the character.
Oh wow.
Which is unfortunate because like there's a lot of stuff and it's all allowed. You can even just go get off like archive.org. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these stories are out there. Then they are free.
And
there is that you said. Go ahead, T-shirt. I'm sorry.
Oh, there is Shadow comics that are kind of ongoing now and are worth taking a look at. Let's see. Like Master of Mystery, The Rise of the Shadow. That is, these are names you'll know. These are Will Murray and Joe DeVito. Joe DeVito is known. Let's see, Simon Spurrier, Dan Waters, Steve Orlando, Giovanni Timpano. But I know that not too long ago, one of my favorites, Garth Ennis, actually did the Shadow.
Ooh.
Yeah, Matt Wagner and Brennan Wagner. Matt Wagner has done quite a few Shadow comics, and these are also independent creations. These are not the big two. So I should probably say the big three if we're going to include Image too, but nobody ever really talks about Image. But what were you saying, Boss?
Something that you said. Kind of made me think a little bit there. You said that we need to, not your opinion, but I think you were saying Razorfist's opinion, and I don't have much time for Razorfist, so I don't listen to him or watch his channel. But you said that to ignore the big two, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of cherry picking a little bit with the big two. There's a couple of titles that I still get, and a couple of them are still not too bad. They're not great. I don't remember the last time in my, say, top 10 comics of the month where I've picked a Marvel or a DC title. That's pretty rare nowadays, but there are still some things that I hold some hope out for. Absolutely, I'm a big fan of the Silver Age, Bronze Age stuff. I've been picking up a lot of the Daredevil issues that I've missed over the years, and I can get them pretty cheap in a lot of auctions that are out there right now. I just use that as an example because I mean, between that, I've been getting the Marvel 2-in-1, Marvel Team Up. I'm a DC guy, so a lot of the stuff that I grew up with, I missed a lot of the Marvel stuff. So it's fun going back and getting all the old stuff again and rereading that because it's a lot of fun. But I think that I'm kind of hoping that maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and this isn't the Twilight of the Gods, and it's not Ragnarok for DC and Marvel. I'm hoping, because there's a lot of stories still to be told with Tony Stark and Kal-El and all of the great characters from those two huge comic book companies. And I'm trying to stay optimistic. I see the financial end on the horizon, but maybe when we get past this last couple of years that we've gotten to, where they start to realize we need to make a profit, and who are our fans? Well, 90% of them are male. Yeah. So we need to start going back and getting that audience back again and start building that audience with the new fans. And I think that's something that Disney, for example, has really lost track of. The whole reason they got Star Wars and the whole reason they got the Marvel IPs is because they wanted to bring the male audience in.
Well, exactly. Keith and I talked about that ad nauseum when we started our channel. was that Disney, we were excited by what they did because they bought Marvel and DC because they already had the girls. The girls would stay after 13. Girls love Disney, but they wanted to get boys. So they bought they bought Marvel primarily for it. And eventually, because of Bob Iger's relationship with Lucas, they bought Star Wars. But both of them were purchased exclusively to keep boys in the seats. And then they fucked it all.
Exactly.
It's like they forgot why they did it.
Hi, Arwen. How's it going?
Oh my gosh, it's Arwen.
We were just talking about you.
Yeah, we were just talking about you.
I am not tired, Kylock. I swear to God. I'm
And I agree 100%, Jerry, exactly what you're saying. And that's part of the problem today.
Call me Lord Fob? Would you just call me?
Gary?
Gary. Fuck you.
How about George?
I did it to see if you were actually listening to me or
I don't
not.
fucking listen to you.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, there's, oh, Arwen just got off of Eris' stream. Well, we're kind of wrapping it up here. Otherwise, I'd bring you right on in. But maybe next week, huh? Maybe. Although I think you're kind of a regular on Eris's now. But yeah.
You're just in the friend zone now, T-shirt.
I'm just in the friend zone. Oh well, that's okay. I've pretty much just decided that my life is going to remain single and celibate for the most part. So, there was something that broke this week. I spoke about it on Jace's stream with him, and Ironcaster reminded me of it today. And since we are talking about some creators' rights and things like that, yeah. Some of the news this week is that the Friday the 13th story rights were finally given back to the original writer, Victor Miller, who actually created the original character of Jason, not the cool hockey mask guy that kind of became something later on. But apparently he's pretty eager to get back to producing more Friday the 13th stuff. So that is a nice positive to kind of go out on, is the fact that we may have some new Friday the 13th material coming out in the next few years as soon as they get all the rights.
One of the rumors was a TV series.
Yeah, I heard about that. Certainly one of the things that upset me is whenever it went to court and went into litigation, the Friday the 13th video game, which I was a very big fan of, they had to cease all production on everything. And according to an insider I know who had a line to a certain actor on the Friday the 13th series, series of movies, I won't mention his name except to say that his first name starts with a K. But if you know who that is, he confirmed. Huh? What?
Absolutely, I know who that is.
Yeah, he did confirm that there was a lot of material. He had shot a lot of mocap and other stuff for that video game. So they had lots of plans going forward to do more DLC and more stuff with it, more kills, more everything. And we know that the Jason X Jason was about to be released, and they had to stop all the production on it, and the game pretty much it's done. But maybe with Victor Miller securing the rights, maybe they'll talk to him and try to come up with a sequel or try to pick it up where it left off and continue it. That's my hope. Certainly, I definitely want to see some more movies. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing a series, because, Jason is kind of my guy. I mean, a lot of people like Michael and some people like Freddy, but I really like Jason. I don't know. How about you, Gary? Who's your favorite killer?
Look, I'm a Freddy fan.
You're a Freddy fan. Okay, that's Iron.
But I like Jeffrey Dahmer too, because
no, Gary, no.
At least he ate what he killed.
I mean, I'd almost want to go off the beaten path and pull up the Puppet Master series, but of the main ones, we'll probably go with Michael Myers.
Okay, classic. Michael Myers, Lord Thoth.
Pinhead.
Pinhead. Oh, okay. Esh,
Was he killer,
you don't
though?
know, huh?
Was he really a killer?
Yeah, he was. Well,
He's a
technically,
Cenobite, man.
the Cenobite.
Yeah, I know he was a torturer.
Arwen says it's Ghostface. There you go.
There's
Ghostface,
Ghostface
very
was
nice.
fun.
Kylock is a big Jason fan himself. Ash has not seen enough horror movies to make a decision, I don't think.
I'm not a horror person, so I've got no foot in the race.
I've been trying to get my wife to watch Evil Dead 2
Oh,
and The Army of Darkness
yes,
with me, and she's
yes.
like, "No, I'm not going to watch a horror movie." And I'm like, "Oh, come on, it's actually a comedy." I'm trying to
It's
go
true.
that way,
Now,
but
are you an Evil Dead fan? Thought?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Okay, then you like this because I was with Bruce at a show, and some kid in the audience, this is way back in the 90s, and asked Bruce, what was the difference between Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness? I don't get it. Aren't they sequels? Why are they so different? And Bruce responded, because you've got a brain tumor or something. And the guy's like, I don't have a brain tumor. And he goes, I don't know. I think you ought to get checked because something's wrong up there.
Jeez. Well, all right, guys. It's we've been at an hour almost, so let's go ahead and start winding things down.
Wow.
All right, let's do some channel plugging. All right, so we're gonna start off with Ironcaster, one of our most famous and distinguished channel guys.
Well, guys, I like talking about some big robots, but I love October too. Monday, I want to get on talking about I want to pull up a little bit of horror and get something into the mood of the season. And I figured, I could go with the original Draculas and Frankensteins or something more modern, but no, there's that little slice in between there, before we get to our slashers, before we get to the more modern stuff with Ghost and all the nonsense and Sharknadoes. I figured, why not get some legends? Get the icons. I want to go grab, in this case, Peter Cushing. More modern audiences know him best for Star Wars, but I wanted to go back to one of his more famous roles. I want to go into Frankenstein.
Oh, the art on that cover is awesome.
Nice.
Before he was
like
standing side by side with Vader, the monster of the Empire, he was making the monsters, and no one could stand in his way.
I heard that is a good one too.
Very good.
So it is.
So I'll be talk about this Monday on my channel, and I'm hoping to and I want to get a little panel going. So anyone who's a fan of it wants to talk, get in contact.
Well,
We'll
I'd
be
like
doing a
to
little
jump
stream.
in there because a lot of people don't know that the Hammer films were Universal Pictures supported. Universal was 100% behind those films because they were going to be the ones that released them in the United States. It was through them that distribution was done. And it breathed new life into the Universal monsters for Universal.
Right.
And they
I remember
loved the
they
Hammer
were
horror films.
they were originally they wanted to avoid stepping on the toes of the Hammer of the Universal film. That's why they tried to kind of shy away from the makeup too much with Christopher Lee.
And then it ends up being something Universal wanted and loved. And like I said, it breathed new life into the Universal monsters for Universal.
All right. We have the very quiet but very loved Ash.
Oh, thanks. Well, busy schedule as always. So on Tuesdays, I've got my co-host paneling with Amanda over on Amanda Gillen Presents on Twitch. Thursdays is Global Geek Gang on Clobbering Times. Fridays, Minecraft with Explore the Multiverse, and occasionally TGIF on Pop Culture Minefield. Saturdays is here on this channel for T-Shirters panel. Sundays is Pop Culture Archivists. And for October, each week I'll be playing a different horror game. So that will either be on Monday or Wednesday, depending on schedule, and that's on my channel, Ash Singer on YouTube. And the 4 games that I'll be playing is The Forest, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Dagon, which is a Lovecraftian inspired game.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want
And
to see that.
there was one more. I've forgotten the name. But yeah.
Very cool,
Yeah.
man. Very cool. We got to go with Gary.
Hey, here's it going. Yeah. Well, we got a Blade Runner show coming up here at 6. Blade Runner discussion group. We're going to be discussing the Blade Runner RPG that's coming out, as well as I think with T-Shirt and I being on the show together, we'll be talking about The Thing, because they also have The Thing RPG.
Oh
coming out
no.
as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys do. Not really into RPGs, but if you get me entertained enough, I'll fucking play them.
There you go.
So
Are
we'll
you
be
talking
doing
about
that.
that PlayStation
And
2
I
one?
finished. What's that?
Oh, I was mentioning the PlayStation 2, the Thing game.
He played that.
Oh, I own that. I own the Blade Runner 97 game. I own the Thing game from, what was it, 2002? I fucking love those games. And it had a great tie-in at the end to the film because McCready shows up at the end with the helicopter. But I'm really curious what these guys are going to do with this RPG stuff. The website and the video looks really cool. But also I finished the Blade Runner game. And so I think Tuesdays and Thursdays is going to be my LA Noire. It's either that or Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm going to
Nice.
do one or the other.
Very cool. Thoth, I don't know if you have a channel so much as you're kind of like everywhere.
I do have a channel,
God.
but I haven't started my videos yet. I know my wife and I are talking about doing something here pretty soon where she's going to do the normie take and I'm going to do the geek nerd take. So yeah, that's coming soon. So
What's it going to be called? Talking about boots and boats and
don't be at it, eh? But yeah, exactly. Yeah, talking about that. Yeah, and I also wanted to just do a quick plug for Clobberin Times channel tonight. We're going to be doing the great Star Trek stream. We're into Star Trek: The Next Generation, getting out of season 1 and 2, moving into season 3. So there should be some fun times there. We always have a great lively chat. So check that out. And it's always great to come on here T-shirted. And thank you very much for the invite. I really appreciate it.
Oh, hey, man, it was my pleasure. Definitely my pleasure. And I want to really quick, I want to give a shout out to my man, Animane. You missed out on the show. He is a great guy. I love that dude. I just posted up his link to his YouTube. You guys need to check that out. That is Animane's YouTube right there.
I forgot. I'm doing Chris Knight tonight. I'm doing
Who?
his show.
Chris Knight?
Yeah. I forget what his show is called. What he calls it. It's something fan. Anyway, we're doing a Star Wars show.
Huh.
The Real Review 3000. That's it. Going to be going on at 10 o'clock Central Time.
Oh, I'll probably be on Snowdub. Just because I love Snowdub. But yeah, Animane. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's kind of funny you said that you got to have me on your live stream soon. Yes, you do. But I want to invite you to my live streams. I want to hook up some regular times and stuff and get you on there and put you to work. Especially, with some of my co-hosts and guests and things. I think you're going to be awesome, dude. So, get with me on Twitter. We'll see about putting some time together and, let's make some stuff happen, man. Let's grow each other's channels. All right, and I guess it's up to me here. It's like, yes, hello, I am your T-shirted zombie. Oh, here, let me do this more properly.
Oh, God.
Hello, I am your T-shirted zombie. For this month of October, you can catch me at 4 p.m. every Saturday, where we will talk about pop culture and try to remain positive in an increasingly negative pop culture world. Maybe. Also, you can usually catch me on Snowdub, because I like to hang out on his channel. I do some things with Gary when I can catch him, and Fat Steven when I can catch him. And normally on Tuesdays, I do a discussion with Grim, but we are currently on hiatus. Don't worry, we will be getting back to that again. So, with that, you can always catch me on YouTube somewhere.
All right. Well, I guess that about wraps it up, eh?
Think so.
10-4.
All right. Y'all take care. Have a great week. Love you guys. Thank y'all very much for being with me. And have a great week. What can I say? Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Y'all
Night,
come back
everybody.
now. You hear?
Yep.
Inside this code, I search till I fall for you, inside this code. For you, I'm still searching.